I will be reacting to Avatar the Last Airbender. I've seen it before. It's my favorite show. Let's get into it. This is Season 1, Episode 1, The Boy in the Iceberg.
I can already smell it cooking.
But Sokka, I caught one! Hey!
Why is it that every time you play with magic water,
The first episode, it all sounds like they're on a soundstage.
It's not magic, it's water bending. And it's...
It very much feels like a play.
Culture, blah, blah, blah.
Watch out! Go left! Go left!
I hate... Go left where? I hate that. When people just yell nonsense to just express how stressed out they are. Look at... There's no left. That is some dumb... I know the whole thing is Sokka is sexist here, but that was some dumb girl shit to say.
You call that left?
And then she brings up left again.
Well, maybe you should have water-bended us out of the ice.
That's genuine.
Knew I should have left you home. Leave it to a girl to screw things up.
You are the most sexist, immature, nut-brained... I'm embarrassed to be related to you!
Again, this is supposed to be about Sokka's sexism, but Sokka's been pretty on point, and leave it to a girl to screw things up, a bit sexist, but she is way overreacting here. Go left, and then this, where she goes, that's it, and makes a speech and yells. It's making me more sexist for having watched it. I see why the new series tried to take it out.
Ever since Mom died, I've been doing all the work around camp while you've been off playing soldier!
Also, I know it's just exposition, but that she brings up that their mom died, like, right now. Because it wasn't recent. Like, in the when their mom dies, it's, like, years ago. So she's bringing up that their mom died, like, every time they get in a fight. Ever since Mom died, you blah, 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 blah. Katara's a real piece of shit.
Katara?
I even wash all the clothes! Have you ever smelled your dirty socks? Let me tell you, not pleasant!
Katara?
Why is she smelling the socks?
No.
Also, Sokka's supposed to be sexist, but if I were him, I could be way more sexist. This is nothing. Actually, I think Sokka wouldn't be that sexist. Maybe it makes sense that he's not. You ever try to be sexist when it's just you and only other girls? It's no fun. They don't get it. Sexism is fun with you and the boys. Even if it's just you and one other guy, still, it's pretty fun to say something awful and sexist. But you and all girls and then children, because then the kids don't get that you're kidding. The women get that you're kidding, but they don't get how funny it is.
He's alive! We have to help!
Katara? Get back here! We don't know what that thing is!
I saw what it was. It was a boy. Basically, everything else in this episode
I need to ask you something.
can be explained by that Aang is horny.
Come closer. What is it? Will you go penguin sledding with me? Appa! Are you alright?
Wow, I bet people would pay good money for that tongue ride there. That seems like something some of the older air nomads would do and then get caught by Aang. And then they're like, you have to be trained at a different temple. Aang's not even the Avatar. He just walked in on one of the monks getting ass licked by a bison. It's part of an ancient ritual that helps you balance your... we're sending you to the Easter Air Temple.
You never told us your name.
So is Aang showing off with that sneeze? Or is that how airbenders sneeze every time? Because that would pose some pretty big architectural issues. If every time anyone sneezed, they launch themselves 3 stories. He's definitely showing off. Hey, you see how high that sneeze went? Like, that's what he's imagining is about to happen. Hey, see me sneeze just there? I went pretty high, huh? 10 feet. I think it was more like 20. You don't even want to know what I would do to a tissue if you gave me one.
You just sneezed and flew 10 feet in the air.
Really? It felt higher than that. Come on, Abba. Yip, yip.
Wow, that was truly amazing.
How could Sokka's skepticism survive here? He just saw Aang fly, and they have the same arrow.
Why are you smiling at me like that?
Oh,
I was smiling.
Sokka even notices that Aang's floating. I mean, this really would be like, imagine if you like discover the second coming of Jesus, and then all Jesus wants to do is just bone your sister, and he's like doing these like little weird sneeze miracles and being like, "Hey, you see what just happened? You see me turn that water into wine? You want a second cup of wine?" Sokka's a real doubting Thomas. You know the story of doubting Thomas? If Aang was Jesus, he would make Sokka put his hands into his holes. And then he would ask Katara if she wanted to put her hands in his holes. Hey, you seen my holes? Want to watch me sneeze through one of my holes? But yeah, no, I think the rest of the episode continues on. It's just Aang being super horny. That bison lick didn't seem to do it for him.
Mine does. This
It's a beautiful cardigan.
hiding are over.
I have a similar one.
Hey,
Hey, what you thinking about?
I guess
God,
I
he's
was
flirting
wondering,
so hard.
You're being an airbender and all? If you had any idea what
Probably
happened
can't
to
even
the
hear what she's
Avatar.
saying.
I didn't know him. I mean, I knew people that knew him, but I didn't. Sorry.
Okay, just curious. Good night.
Sleep tight.
Oh, I could never lie to pretty girls. I would have been like, it's me. Oh, it's me. Uh-oh, sex dream. This is how most of my sex dreams start. Yep.
Aang, wake up! We're in the village now. Come on, get ready. Everyone's waiting to meet you.
Why did you just say we're in the village now? When did Aang fall asleep? Did he fall asleep on Appa? So is what happened? Katara goes, "Hey, do you know the Avatar?" And then Aang said no, and then passed out into a panic-induced dream. Did they not walk through the village? See, this is why Sokka's so sexist. Katara says annoying shit like that makes no sense. We're in the village. Yeah. I'm already I'm in one of the houses in the village. I'm in a tent. I know that's, again, just exposition, but come on.
Aang, this is the entire village.
It's not that much
Entire
laundry.
village. Aang,
Why are they all looking at me like that?
You know, it's funny that Aang, they're trying to make him seem like a fish out of water, cultural difference, like he's confused, they're confused by him. But imagine, I mean, he's supposed to be 100 years old. If you met a person who'd been frozen since 1924, it would not take you long to figure out that there was something up. Frankly, Aang should be far more sexist than Sokka. First thing out of Aang's mouth should have been great-ass toots.
Did Appa sneeze on me?
Well, no one has seen an airbender in 100 years. We thought they were extinct until my granddaughter and grandson found you.
Extinct?
Aang, this is my grandmother.
Call me Gran-Gran.
Why do they play that little whenever Gran talks? Why are they disrespecting Gran? That bird is making Gran look like a fucking idiot. If after I introduce myself, I heard like somebody play a slide whistle, like I would feel like a fucking jackass. I'd be like, I'm a loser. The god of my universe thinks I'm a loser. Also, it is sort of conceivable that Aang doesn't, when they say they haven't seen any airbenders in 100 years, Aang being like, whatever. Because they look, I mean, look at them. The lady who said that just had that slide whistle play. She's a fucking idiot. She's a joke. That slide whistle is for people who are a joke. Is Gran alive at the end of the series? I think they just forget about Gran. That's what, when Gran dies, they're going to play that. Sokka, Katara, I'm sorry to tell you, Gran has passed away. What a joke.
It's not for stabbing, for airbending.
Magic trick, do it again.
Not magic, airbending.
Both Katara and Aang are so anti-magic. I hope that's like a thing in the Avatar universe. It's like there are benders, but they still hate like there are benders, but there's also people who they believe to be witches, and they stone the witches. They use their fire bending to burn the witches, and they use their earth bending to stone the witches, and they use water bending to drown the witches. Bending is not magic. Witches are of the devil.
My watchtower!
You don't notice it as much. I watched a few minutes of the live action one, but the fact that all the waterbenders are wearing blue, like I know it's because they're water tribe, but if you live out here, how much effort and resources are you putting into dyeing all your clothes blue? I mean, those would be made of pelts, and they're dyeing everything blue, like they're weird Eskimo royalty.
Power in firebending comes from the breath, not the muscles. The breath becomes energy in the body. The energy extends past your limbs and becomes fire.
His hair blew back.
Right this time.
I don't know why, but in that scene, like suspect firebending doesn't have a unique smell for every firebender, but I do feel like if you shot fire that close where it blew your hair back a little bit, especially if Iroh did it, Zuko would be like, oh. Like it's like a hot burp. I wonder if that's a subsect of firebending, like how lightning is. Really powerful firebenders who've mastered inner peace or whatever can make their fire smell like all sorts of like methane-y fire or sulfur fire, like just farty
I've been drilling
fart
the
bending.
sequence all day. Teach me the next set. I'm more than ready.
No, you are impatient. You have yet to master your
Okay, there is
basics.
no duck here.
Drill it again!
There is no roast duck right now. I have seen Iroh
The
from every
sages tell
angle.
us that the
There is
Avatar
no
the
roast duck.
last Airbender. He must be over 100 years old by
No
now.
roast
He's had a
duck.
century to
No
master the
roast
four
duck.
elements. I'll need more than
No
basic
roast duck.
firebending to defeat him. You will teach me the advanced set.
Very well. But first, I must finish my roast duck.
There was no roast duck. That is that's magic. Iroh's the only one who does magic. It's not bending, it's roast duck magic. What a way to diffuse a situation. If you're ever being yelled at, you should materialize roast duck. That'll put a smile on everybody's face.
Have you seen Aang? Grand said he disappeared over an hour ago.
Wow, everything freezes in there.
I feel like you could write a long dissertation about that scene. What was he doing in there for an hour that is now frozen? I know I've already made a bunch of sex jokes, but an hour? It'd be funny if after he gets out of there, he's just no longer interested in Katara at all. Like he's all like aloof, just like, yeah, hey, what was your name again? I don't care anymore. Thought I cared. Everything freezes in there. Now I don't care. I'm actually going to fly away now because you've been saying some weird stuff about all my people being dead. And I don't want to hang out with you backwoods Eskimos anymore. If I was Aang, I'd be way more judgmental of how poor they are.
What's wrong with you? We don't have time for fun and games with the war going
I thought
on.
that... Okay, whatever.
What are you talking about?
You're kidding, right?
Penguin!
Aang's ADHD in this episode is crazy.
He's kidding, right?
They're kind of able to move the story along in this episode, partly just because Aang is such a weird spaz and can't hold a full
Hey, come on,
conversation.
little guy. Wanna go sledding? Ooh.
This episode really should go, Aang wakes up, asks Katara if they want a bone. She says no. Then they say, you're an airbender, all the airbenders are dead, there's a war. And then Aang goes, oh my god, and then leaves. It should be like a 3-second episode. Actually, it should be an hour and 3 seconds. Aang still goes into that weird frozen bathroom for an hour. And then, after getting right mentally, he goes to the Southern Air Temple. That's a terrible penguin. I do a
I'll
much
help
better
you catch
penguin.
a penguin if you
But I'm not
teach
going to do
me
it now.
water
That's going to be on the Patreon.
You got a deal. What about the North Pole? There's another water tribe up there, right? Maybe they have waterbenders who could teach you.
Maybe. But we haven't had contact with our sister tribe in a long time. It's not exactly turn right at the second glacier. It's on the other side of the world.
But you forget, I have a flying bison. Appa and I can personally fly you to the North Pole.
This is the simpiest thing of the, like, I know the other scene where Aang is staring at Katara is supposed to be demonstrating that he's into her, but this is, have you ever given a ride to a girl because she was cute and asked? I did once in high school, and I still wince thinking about it. This girl just asked me to like drive her to a place, to like a restaurant, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, and I drove her there, and then she went in and was like, I have a job interview, will you wait? And I did. I waited for like 25 minutes while she had a job interview, and then she came back out and was like, okay, drive me home, and I just drove her home, and I'm still like, oh. But I did get a couple years later, she like messaged me to come pick her up from someplace. I hadn't seen her in a long time. I wasn't even good friends with this person. This is just some girl. Anyway, she messaged me to come pick her up, and I think I just responded like, fuck no. So I feel good about that, but mostly I wince at the thing. Anyway, that's what Aang is doing here. Yeah, no, you just need a ride? You where? The other side of the world? Yeah, totally. I have a car. We can like talk on the way.
I mean, I don't know. I've never
Even
left home
she's like,
before.
that is too much. I'm not going to have sex with you, so that's a bit... I'll get my mom to drive me.
Listen closely, my young pupil. Catching penguins is an ancient and sacred art. Observe.
She's had that on her the whole time, huh? Aang's like, oh, that's what that smell was. I thought... I don't know. I thought it was your womanly odor. I was so attracted to you. Now I know it's just an old fish. I love the soundtrack for this.
I haven't done this since I was a kid.
You still are a kid.
That's a good line. Sets up Katara's character more motherly and forced to grow up because of the war. The war in Iraq and Afghanistan has not forced me to grow up at all. I mean, look at what I'm doing right now. It's Tuesday night.
Whoa.
I should be in bed. I have work tomorrow.
What is that?
What is that?
Fire Navy ship, and a very bad memory for my people. Aang, stop! We're not allowed to go near it. The ship could be booby-trapped.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear. That is a line that I'm sure older benders say to younger girl benders. Again, I'm sorry for the similar, the whole Aang being a skeeve ball joke, but that's what the whole episode is. Hey, Katara, if you want to be... Aang, I don't know about this. This feels weird. I just met you. Katara, if you want to be a bender, no fear. I'll show you how to waterbend. And then he pisses on her. Sorry. This shot looks so weird. Their heads are the same. They have the same face, only in that shot.
This ship has haunted my tribe since Gran was a little girl. It was part of the Fire Nation's first attacks.
Okay, back up. I have friends all over the world, even in the Fire Nation. I've never seen any war.
Aang, how long were you in that iceberg?
I don't know, a few days maybe?
I think it was more like 100 years.
What? That's impossible. Do I look like a 112-year-old man to you?
Think about it. The war is a century old. You don't know about it because, somehow, you were in there that whole time. It's the only explanation.
100 years. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, Aang. Maybe somehow there's a bright side to all this.
I did get to meet you.
That is so horny. Everyone I know is died of old age and they think I disappeared, but I met you. That even almost sounds like a pickup line. Of all the women or of all the ships in all the world, what are the odds that I would meet you here? That would be my new strategy starting now, would be the like, I'm sad kind of flirting. Oh, my family's dead. How can I help? I don't know. If we made out, like that might, I don't know. You want to see me sneeze again?
Quite agile for his old age.
Wake my uncle!
Tell him I found.
Why is the sky
Avatar.
yellow in this scene? Is the sky yellow in any other scene?
As well as his hiding place.
The hiding place looked like a Bob Ross painting. All right. Oh, should I give a recap? I mean, overall, like, it's a boring episode. It's just tough because they should remake the pilot and have someone die or something, because I can never get anyone to get past this episode or the first, like, couple, even though Avatar is the greatest show in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I want to rate it. Every episode's a 10. This is the best show ever. I don't know. Well, that was episode 1. If you watched it, thank you so much. Let me know if this is something you would be interested in watching more in the comments. Yeah, also check out my comedy specials and blah, 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 blah. If you're in New York, I'm at my comedy club I opened, Flophouse Comedy Club. Check it out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.